Welcome back to our next section on the Republican Hour with Charlie Copeland. We've already talked to some candidates that we've got here in the city for state rep and state senate, and we have one more candidate I wanted to speak with this morning. I think many of you may know him because he's run before and actually has his own show as well on Channel 28. Rich Dyton. Rich,
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good.
I guess also known as Chi, because I guess he said I'm the only one that calls him Rich. But
that's cool. Rich is fine. Chi. People in the community know me as Chi, but that's fine.
Yeah. So. Not that you need to do this, but I've had everybody else do it, is, just sort of tell me a little bit about you.
About me? Well, I'm a proud product of a single mother, a teenage mother. My mother often gets upset when I say that, but I'm proud of the fact that I had a mother who had me while she was in high school at Howard High School. I grew up on the east side of Wilmington. Got my early education in the Wilmington school system. I graduated from Glasgow High School and then attended Virginia State University and Delaware State University. I left Delaware State University on internship to work with Project Stay Free, Mr. Tyrone Jones, and then from there I just went on to my own entrepreneurship and just kept on rolling. Now I'm the proud owner of the ARC Learning Center, which is an early childhood learning center, and we develop kids not just academically but socially and culturally.
And the room we're filming in right now is right, one of your rooms.
Yeah, this is one of the rooms that we have for our studios that we do for kids dancing. I'm a firm believer in the arts. I think kids who are involved in the arts do better academically. They have a stronger chance of graduating from high school on time, and they're just more disciplined and more focused kids. So we try to teach our kids some of the arts. Any genre of arts you choose, we do it here at the ARC Learning Center.
Yeah, and just before, like I said, we're actually filming in one of your rooms, but we also took a tour of the ARC Learning Center, and I tell you, I mean, the kids were, on task, focused, happy. I mean, it was a quiet place. There wasn't, I mean, it's really, really well done. You should be very proud.
Oh, thank you. I am. And when I see the children, the biggest thing I get, I tell you, they make me feel like a pro athlete whenever I see them, because they all say, Uncle Chi. They want to come up and give me high fives and give me hugs, and it's just, you can't make children like people. All of us who have children know that you can't make a child like Aunt such and such, Uncle such and such. Some people, children just don't like. And fortunately for me, I'm a person who children like, and I'm glad. I think God gave me that gift of working with children, so I've kind of found my niche and where I want to be.
Now, you've taken a slightly different trip to running for state rep as a Republican,
right?
And that's fine. Look. She'll probably kill me for saying this, but when my daughter was 16 years old, we went to register, get her driver's license. They said, "You want to register to vote?" And there she is with me, of course, right? This is the Republican Hour with Charlie Copeland, and they said, "Do you want to register for a party?" And I looked at her and said, "Honey, it is absolutely your choice. It's your life, your journey. You do what you need to do." And she said, "I want to be unaffiliated." So it comes down to both parties have issues, but when one side runs the table for such a long time, I think it breeds corruption, it breeds insider dealing, cronyism. But that's enough about me. Tell me what your
my take on it is, I think sometimes people are taken for granted. It's like anything in life. I think a lot of times politicians in Wilmington especially have taken the black community vote just for granted. Well, I'm running, I'm black. If I'm running, they're going to vote Democrat. They're going to vote for me anyway if I'm running against any other person. And even as running as a Democrat before, I always said, vote for the person, not the party. I believe that you should look at people, and there's good Democrats, bad Democrats, there's good Republicans, bad Republicans. Vote for the person, look at their platform, look at what they plan to do, look at what they've already done, and then you make a educated decision. Oftentimes, people in our community will go in a voting booth and just punch straight down the line. They don't care who's on the list, right? They're just going to go push the button straight down, and I think it's time for that to stop. So I'm glad that the other gentlemen who came on before me are just interested in running to show that the Republican have people with ideas, who are smart people, who are business owners, who are entrepreneurs, and who give back to the community. So I don't want people to think that this is always a Republican, because again, people often think Republican almost means white, and a Democrat almost means black, and it's not about that.
Absolutely.
It's about You know, at the end of the day, it's about green. It's about making money, being able to provide for our families. I personally feel that no matter what religious affiliation you are or political affiliation, you want the same things. You want a better quality of life. You want a nice home. You want good schools for your kids to grow up in. You want retirement. You want 401k. You know, you want a safe, clean community. So I don't think we should look at people saying, well, he's a Republican. My views as a person have not changed. I've learned more, and I understand things a lot differently now. And so the decision I made to become a Republican was one that I made with a lot of thought. You know, Charlie, we talked about it.
Yes, we did.
It wasn't something I said, oh, I'm just going to be a Republican. Like, no, I thought about it. I looked at some things, and for me and where I plan to go and what I want to do in my life, I think I can best be served by being a part of this party.
Well, and I think that's self-discovery. And again, I've been on this show for almost 7 years now, and I've said, repeatedly, the best person to take care of me is me.
Right.
But I need an education and I need a job opportunity.
Right.
And so if entrepreneurs can't start a business because government's taxes are too high, or the regulations are too steep, or because you're not a friend of this person, so they say to the inspector, you can take your time getting to that guy's place. And all of a sudden you're not starting businesses, and if you're not starting businesses, you don't have jobs, and if you don't have jobs, people can't take care of themselves, and it creates a negative cycle rather than the other way, when
right.
people are out there able to build a company, employ people, those people come in, they can take care of their parents,
Right.
they can take care
Well,
of their kids.
let me say, it took me 7 years to build the building, the Arc Learning Center. 7 years. And a lot of it was bureaucracy, right? Trying to pierce the bureaucracy. Going through, I got $30,000 in instant tickets and vacancy fees. I got held up on my certificate of occupancy. I've been foreclosed, on the bank foreclosed. I was down to like the last day looking for a bailout, going to the city, going to everyone saying, can I get a bailout? Can I get some help? Can someone help me? And all of the people who may have even been in position to help me, sat by the sideline and didn't, and it was by the grace of God, and I'm going to give God the credit, because that's the only person who deserves the credit, that I was able to come from under it. And now I employ proudly 18 people, including some youth workers. We have 25 people working in our facility who are paying state taxes, federal taxes, Social Security, and I'm happy about that.
Right. And it's activity on the block, so that there are people around, so it's not it's not an empty street. I mean, it creates all those other positive. You have passion for educating kids. Mm-hmm. What do you want to do when you get to Dover?
I want to make sure that our children have the same level playing field as every other child, right? And every other child, we can go socioeconomic status, but it's going to boil down to, black children and white children, other, inner city children and not inner city children. But I want our children to start off first grade, kindergarten, first grade, with the same opportunity, with the same level, and it starts with preschool. And then as they're going through school, I want them to have the same set of resources as other schools. One of the things I say that happened to the black community that I think hurt the black community was desegregation, right? When we took all the schools from the inner city and said we're going to mix it up. Everyone who voted on that and everyone who was a part of that generation that voted for desegregation took their children, who could afford it, took their children to private school, right? Took their children out of there. I would like to see Wilmington come back with its own school system. I would like to see us be responsible for our own children's education.
The head of the teachers union, his kid graduated from Tatnall, private school.
Right.
I mean,
not to say.
And you got the choice.
My daughter's going to Friends this year.
Well,
and it's because.
But shouldn't everybody have that kind of choice?
Yeah, absolutely.
To go to a good school, quality school, whether it's a public district school, whether it's a public charter school, whether it's the religious-based school, or whether it's a private school.
Absolutely.